Hello everybody, welcome back to Nikki Dolly 95. I am Nikki Chanel. Now, just a couple of days ago on March 18th of 2025, I managed to reach 5 years of my transition. Now, 5 years is a big thing for anything, for family, relationships, careers, living in a single space. But for trans women, we celebrate our transitions. And I call it my second birthday. March 18th is my second birthday. And I thought to put together 5 tips that I have learned and that I rely on in a given day in order to have what I would call a good transition. Now, what you would call a good transition is different from every single trans girl to each one. Some of us go through some pretty intense stuff to be ourselves. Other ones kind of have some pretty easy things, but we always have to give and take certain things when you decide to transition. And so I thought to put together 5 tips that I have learned that have helped me to have what I would call a good transition. Now, again, these are my opinions. These are my own. If you don't like them, please move on. If you like them, please continue watching. Now, just before we get started, I am back to doing YouTube, as you can see from my videos. Thank you for the response on my last one. And if you would like to subscribe and like this video, comment down below. I'll endeavor to answer every single comment. Please do so because it helps my channel recover from my 4 months of absence. Now, let's get into 5 tips for trans women on the road. The first tip is have a plan. Now, when you first start this transition journey, it's going to be like a kid in a candy store. Like everything's new, everything is fresh. You've never experienced all these things. Like you might have been a cross-dresser before. Now you're openly wearing these clothes in public. Now you're openly wearing your makeup in public. You're like living as yourself. And that is a great thing, but that can kind of get to like the mundane pretty fast once you've been doing it enough times. And the biggest thing I see trans girls do when they first start is they're like, oh, I'm gonna get FFS, I'm gonna get my boobs done, I'm gonna get my butt done, I'm gonna get my bottom surgery, I'm gonna go boom, 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 boom. And it's like, that's great, but you need to plan that stuff out. Because what I have learned in 5 years of transition, especially when I was trying to plan my breast augmentation back in 2023, is there's a lot of planning that has to go into place. Like if you are not financially able to pay for your chest augmentation outright, for example, there is surgery through insurance that you can do. However, most of those companies have a lot of requirements that you need to hit in order to do this, such as you need to be on HRT for a year, you need to have a certain therapist, like say that, yes, you are a candidate for this and you're not gonna regret this. But the big thing I'm gonna say is have a plan. If you are a transgender woman that lived as a man for 20 years, you're going to have a lot of your life kind of in place for those 20 years. And suddenly when you come out as a trans woman, it may all kind of crumble to pieces. So you need to have a plan in place to think about, okay, do you want to have kids? So for me, I transitioned at 24 and I decided not to have children. Other transgender women who are in relationships with cis women decide, okay, we're going to have our kids first and then we're going to transition afterwards. You just have to plan this. It's one of those things that the better planned you are, the better resources that you have, the easier it gets along the road. If you are saying, oh, I'll get my chest surgery done in a year from now, well, you need to start planning that a year from now. That's kind of the crazy part of that. When you go to the doctors, have a plan in place. Figure out who your doctor is. Figure out where you're going to get your prescriptions. Figure out where you're going to get your estradiol from. Do you have insurance? Do you not have insurance? How's your family going to react? So you kind of need to have a plan in place to tell them. If you were in a relationship, how is your significant other going to react to this? Because cis women can react the same way as gay men. If you were an openly gay male in a gay relationship, that gay man may not want a trans woman as their husband or wife anymore. So you need to have that plan in place. It's very hard, believe me, there's no set resources that are out there. You just kind of have to wing it a lot of times, but you just need to have the plan in place, because if you don't, things can go south really fast. Number 2, have patience. In the tortoise and the hare scenario, you are the tortoise. In fact, you are the ant next to the tortoise. That's how slowly this process moves along. Nothing comes fast. If you have $80,000 when you start transitioning, yeah, you can get all the surgeries done within 6 months if you pay for them outright. That you can do that. But what I'm telling you is that have patience, because with me, When I started, I wanted everything under the sun. I wanted every single thing of FFS. I wanted every single thing done to my chest. I literally just wanted to be a completely different person, basically. But now, 4 years in, and I look at myself and I'm like, okay, I don't really need that much work done. I went out today, for example, to Casa del Matador for dinner. I went to Hobby Lobby. I went to all of these different places and I was called she every single time because my body just looks female. HRT, after 4 years, does a lot to your body. It changes you in a lot of ways. Like even if I go out and wear a bikini, I do not really have a male body. Luckily, I was blessed with a very thin frame to begin with, but it's just one of those things that I would say wait, because then you don't have to go out and spend all this money. One of my friends, in only a year of HRT, has developed a natural B cup. A natural B cup. She doesn't even need a boob job. She has a natural B cup and they're still growing. Me, I developed like an AA cup because I was so skinny. Once I got on progesterone, they started coming in a little bit more. So I can finally now say I actually do have a chest. To have patience, please have patience. The amount of older girls that tell me, oh, I need to be a woman by X date is pretty astonishing. And I get it from their perspective. They spent 20 years of their life as male. They want to be themselves now and be done with it. And a lot of them go through quite a bit of hell in order to be themselves. So I can get that in that scenario. But what I'm telling you is have patience. And also have patience with people too. When you're transitioning not in a vacuum, but in society around you. If you're at a job and you have been there as male for X number of years, people are going to know you as male. So you need to have the patience of those people are going to understand it. They need to follow along with it. They're in a transition too. They went from calling you the guy name and he, him, and sir forever. Now they're suddenly calling you your female name and she, her. That's a big jump for those people to do. And even I get messed up on it too. Like there's a couple of girls that I know that came out as transgender, calling he. I said he accidentally one day. Yes, a trans person who does YouTube misgendered someone by accident. It's a human thing that happens. And you just have to have the patience that those people will start to slowly accept you as she, because it's a big thing for them, especially if you have family. My mom, when I started this, will never call me she, will never call me by my girl name, wouldn't even go out with me to dinner dressed like this. She'd tell me to go home and take it all off. I went out to dinner with her for 4 hours today and she said, you look good. That's a start. So she's slowly learning because I took the patience with her. Number 3, don't compare yourself. You are on your own journey. No one else is on your journey. This is sort of a thing of the nature versus nurture. All of that takes into account. Your genetics are you, your upbringing is you, your society outlook is you, your astrological sign is you. No one else has that but you. You are your own person. So when you're online, looking at all of these social media girls getting their FFS done, getting boob revision jobs, getting nose revision jobs, getting all of that stuff done to them, don't compare yourself to them. I have a lot of friends who sit there and idolize Victoria's Secrets models and say that they want to become a Victoria's Secrets model. I'm like, well, okay, well, first off, you're a trans woman, so they may or may not accept you, and you need to have a specific body type and all that stuff. Like, that's not a healthy thing, because then if you go out and try to strive for that, and you'll never reach that. Like, it's very rare for women to reach that level of like perfection. When you look at like the Victoria's Secret model shows, it's very rare for women to reach that. Cis women, most of them can never reach that point. And if you're a trans woman, there's a lot of stuff kind of offshooting you in that favor. So do not compare yourself to that. Go out into the grocery store and look at the women around you, and you're gonna be like, wow, sometimes you look better than them. Now, what I'm telling you is don't compare. Never compare. This is your journey. This is your life to live, and it's your path. If you want to get your boobs done, go for it. If you want to get your bottom surgery, go for it. Don't compare yourself. Don't sit here and watch all these girls on YouTube saying, oh, I got my boob job at like 17. I started HRT at like 12 and things like that. Don't do that. You are you. I started at 24. I'm going to be 30 this year with no surgery because surgery is so expensive and it's absolutely crazy and bills come first. And plain and simple, that's my journey. That's my journey to offload surgery. My journey is to go to the gym and work out and build my butt that way. My journey is to look up homeopathic remedies for chest growth. That's my journey. That's not your journey. Never compare yourself, because then you'll get this idealized image in your head of that's what a woman is and that's what I need to reach, when most of the time cis women can never reach that limit too. Never compare yourself. It's your journey. Live your life. Now this one's going to be a lot of controversy, and I want to do a whole video about this in the future. But number 4 is have understanding. Now, when you are out there in the general public, I've learned 99.99999% of people out there could care less that you're transgender. I work at a job in a very red state that voted overwhelmingly for the orange guy, and a lot of those guys come into my store with the hats on. Guess what? Oh, excuse me, miss, do you know where the cereal is? They could care less about me. They could really care less, because I've learned people have more worries than, oh no, there's a transgender person over there, get them. No, they're never gonna do that. Sometimes they will, but they're absolutely crazy and they're gonna go to jail for that. But most people don't care. They've got their own lives to live. They've got their kids to worry about. They've got taxes to worry about. They've got bills due. They've got this to do. Most of them don't care. And so sometimes when you're in jobs, especially when you're in jobs, you're gonna interact with a whole variety of people. At my store, there's 200 plus people that all work there, that all have completely different outlooks and everything like that. Now me, I do not wear makeup at work because I work in a physical labor job, so why am I going to wear makeup if it's just gonna sweat off? No, I save that for when I'm out of work and like doing YouTube and doing my modeling over on my Instagram channel. So I just look completely fresh-faced, and I have still facial hair because I was blessed with male facial hair genetics when I was younger. So sometimes I have that. And I also have worked there with some men that have known me for years by this point, who saw me before transition and everything like that. And guess what? They still call me sir. They still call me sir. They call me every day, call me sir. Even if I went in there perfectly dressed to the nines, wearing the cutest, most feminine outfit ever, I look stunning when I go there, they'll still call me sir. Now, some people may call that transphobic. Some people may call that misgendering. Me, here's where I kind of view it as. That guy could care less. These men are not out there looking up the transgender terminology. They're not looking up LGBT culture. They're not looking up how to interact around transgender people. They see you as a one way, and it's a classic case of you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Am I going to tell them to call me Nikki and she? No, not really, because they'll never understand it. They will never understand it. And so you can either sit here and worry about that one fucking dude calling you sir when 90% of your life calls you she. You live a woman lifestyle. You have the body most women envy. You have genes that make your butt look absolutely amazing. You are stunning as hell. Am I going to worry about one old guy who's working there to get his insurance, who doesn't give a shit about that job, calling me sir that's going to ruin my day? Hell fucking no. Hell fucking no. And that's the thing that you need to have understanding of, is some people will never understand it. They'll never understand why you want to be a woman. They'll never understand why you gave up being a man. They will never understand that. And you can either sit here and wonder, okay, I need to educate that guy, or I can just move on with my day. And I just decided to move on with my day because that guy's not worth my time. He's basically getting his Social Security check. He's getting his insurance, and that's it. He could care less. He goes home, watches football, and drinks beer. Do you think he really cares about transgender people? No, not really. And in my opinion, that guy is not someone who I'm gonna worry about in my daily life because he doesn't fucking matter. If you're out there and someone calls you he, do not take that as a transphobic statement. Do not take that as that's being misgendered. Move on and forget about that motherfucker. Plain and simple, just move on. Have that understanding that some people will never understand what you go through. And also be nice to people. Like, there's one guy at my work who is an old guy. He's always there. He calls me sir, but he's the nicest fucking man you've ever met. He is a actual legitimate sweetheart. He always asks, how's your day going? Things like that. He legitimately is just being a nice guy, but in his mind, he'll just never understand it because they were born in heteronormative culture. They were born in the 80s. They lived through all this stuff, and suddenly the whole world's gay. That's kind of how they view it. They'll never understand it. Have the understanding that sometimes you're never going to get through to people, and have the understanding that sometimes when people misgender you, they just have no clue what they're talking about, and it's not some transphobic thing. Like if you're fired from your job for being transgender, okay, yeah, that's transphobic. That's definitely transphobic. But if you're called sir at work, maybe try to talk with them. If they're never going to get it, maybe try to get a different job. Don't let that shit bother you. Because if you let it bother you, you're gonna have a really shitty existence, and you're gonna be depressed, and you will never wanna go outside. Don't do that. Number 5 is get out there. Don't sit online and stare at Reddit posts. Don't sit online and keep asking, oh, do I look feminine enough? Do I look girly enough? Is my makeup good enough? Don't sit here and stare at YouTube thinking, oh my God, like the whole world's going crazy, like the politics and stuff. All of that shit, it matters, yes. But get out there. I went out today for 4 hours in the general public. We went to a really nice shopping center. We went to lunch. We went to dinner. We then went shopping at Hobby Lobby of all places, which is known as being anti-LGBT. And guess what? No one cared. What I've learned is what you see online never translates into real life. 90% of people are sweeter than sweet. They're kind, they're sweet. They'll never ask you if you're transgender. Like I've been asked 3 times in the general public if I'm transgender. Get out there and live your life. If you want to start small, go to a gay bar. I go to a gay bar here in Boise. It's super nice. Everyone there is super kind and I have no issues there. Get out there and live your life. Don't just sit at home. If you want to be transgender, don't just think the whole world's against you. Don't do that. Get out there and experience life. Take a hike. Go to the gym. Go walking. Get out there and experience life. That's the number one thing that I'm going to tell you is that if you sit around at home staring online and getting into that social media route where you think everyone's out to get you, that the whole world is against transgender people because of whatever that orange guy says in that house, don't do that. Get out there and live your life. How I view it as transgender people become completely normal to society if people see us interact with society. If people see us as just normal people, because that's really what I am. I'm just a normal person who happened to be born a certain way that wants to live as another gender. That's all it is. And when you get out there and you live your life and you set that good example of being a transgender person, people are going to be like, oh, you're really cool. Like I've had so many straight people who have never interacted with anybody who is transgender or gay for that matter, who work at my job that have told me because of what you've told me and because of the conversations I've had with you and because of just your willingness to talk about this, I have completely changed my opinion on transgender people. Like I thought I could never say anything to you because you were gonna get me fired. They were literally afraid of talking to me for the fear that I was gonna get them fired. No, I'm like, no, why would I do that? It's an understanding and it's a transition that we all go through. Get out there and live your life. Get out there, be vocal, be out there, be a person in public, and you're gonna start learning that sometimes you look better than most women. Sometimes all these things of like, oh my God, like, is my makeup right? People can see my facial hair. No one's gonna notice that stuff in public because they're not looking that hard at you. You'll get stares every once in a while, and some of my friends are very good at noticing stares. But for the most part, you're never going to ever have issues in public. Sometimes you will, and it's inevitable, sometimes you will. I've never had a single one. I've only ever had good experiences when I go out, I do my makeup, I do my hair, I put on a cute outfit, and I get out there and live my life. And honey, that's the biggest piece of advice I can give you is get out there. Get off your phone and get out there and live your life. Okay, loves, thank you for watching that little YouTube video. In summary, these tips are just what I live by. You can either take them or you can leave them. It's your choice, honey. And if you have your own tips, please throw them down in the comments section. I would love to learn from my fellow trans girls, as well as my trans men, because they don't get enough love sometimes. Now, these 5 tips are: have a plan. Transition is a long process and you'll be on it the rest of your life. It's also a very expensive process. And some days you're just gonna have hard times. Some days you're gonna feel lost. So have a plan in place that's realistic, that fits your financial goals. Number 2 is have patience. This is a long journey. You don't have to complete it all within 2 months. You don't have to complete it all within 3 weeks. Sometimes you're gonna peak. Like me, half of my 20s were spent as a sad man. My other half of my 20s were spent transitioning. I'm looking forward to my 30s because a lot of this transition shit is done with and I can just live my life. Now it's just a matter of paying off my bills and getting my boobs done and I'm fucking done. Number 3 is don't compare. Never go online and compare yourself to these transgender YouTubers. Some of them make thousands of dollars a day. I'm not one of them. I'm definitely not one of them. But some of them make thousands of dollars a day. Some of these girls who are these social media stars, they make thousands of dollars a day. They can easily afford all their work. And also don't compare yourself to Victoria's Secrets models or like these peak feminine things. I know that we can get into that lump, and I've been in that lump forever. There's a couple of them that I'm just like, oh my God, you're beautiful and all that stuff. But I've also learned they put in a lot of work and their entire job is to look that way. Don't compare yourself. Sometimes you'll look better than them in a lot of respects. Number 4 is have understanding. Sometimes you're never gonna get through to people. You're never gonna get through to that. But you also don't wanna cause like workplace strife by this one old guy coming up to you and calling you sir. It's like, okay, you can either let that slide and just be like, whatever, get on with your day, because most of your life is feminine anyways. Or you can say, oh, I'm sorry, that's she now. Then that can go one of 2 different ways. And it's also more of a safety thing too, is some days people just don't want to be told what to say. Old people are stuck in their ways. There's a reason you can't teach an old dog new tricks, because they're stubborn as all can be. Don't go out of your way to try to teach someone who's never going to learn. And then number 5 is get out there. You can sit here and keep staring at YouTube all day. You can sit here and stare at Reddit all day and see all these beautiful trans girls who've gotten all this work done. Some of them are just genetically gifted with natural D cups. And you're gonna think, oh, I wish I could be that. Just get out there. Get out there and live your life. Get out there and you'll start learning what works, what doesn't work. Like if someone calls you sir in public, think, okay, why did he call me sir? Let's figure out, is my body too tight? Do I need this done? Do I need to kind of modify my makeup in a certain way? Is the outfit that I'm wearing too transphobic? Like, who knows? Just get out there and live your life. That's the biggest piece of advice I can give you, is just get out there, live your life, go to work, experience life as a transgender woman, and you'll start learning that like transgender really doesn't matter that much. Like me, I live my life like I just do what I do. And like a lot of women tell me, hey, you're just going through what I went through, but you're going through that at 24 while I went through that at 12. And that to me is amazing. Like trust women, follow women, but get out there and live your life. Now, thank you for watching that little YouTube video. I hope you all have a wonderful day and I will be here for the next video. This has been Nikki Chanel. Have a wonderful day. Please remember to like and subscribe, put those comments in the comment section. And you all get out there and live your life, honey. Have a good day.